Hello, good evening. Welcome to Camnet Television Main News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Our top stories in the news tonight. One of the abductors of 13 women in Lusaka unfit to stand trial. Government threatens to blacklist millers who are conniving with smugglers. Small-scale contractors bemoan government's disregard on CDF contracts. In international news, Burkina Faso explains the reason behind the call for general mobilization. And in sports news, intellectual disability team gears up for Germany Olympics.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Monday, 17th April 2023, on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chiluba with his guest, Honorable Chipoka Mlenga, Minister of Commerce and Trade.
That His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zambia has given strict directives that myself, Ministry of Agriculture and other colleagues through the civil service and government wings will work together to not only find the solution to the problem, but make sure that mealie meal is not only available, but the price is also affordable.
As they discuss, where are we as a nation? On DSTV channel 274, GoTV channel 98, and Topstar channel 106.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp, and text messages. Make a date with us. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Hello once again, another news in detail. Transparency International Zambia TIZ chapter is shocked after the continued obtaining of illegal allowances by 10 employees at the Ministry of Finance, despite the arrest of senior officials from the ministry 3 months ago. TIZ Executive Director Maurice Nyambe says the behavior undermines the trust of the public and erodes the efforts of those who are working tirelessly to promote transparency and accountability within the public sector. Mr. Nyambe points out that seemingly perpetual misconduct at the Ministry of Finance is a worrying trend that requires the urgent attention of the head of state. He therefore recommends that bold steps must be taken to address the systematic weakness that seems to exist at such a key ministry in order to put a stop to the continued loss of public funds.
We are very concerned by the revelations of the continued stealing of public funds by 10 employees at the Ministry of Finance. I think that given what emerged in terms of the theft that has been happening for so many years, it is imperative that the authorities really take the bull by its horns and get to the bottom of what has continued to be a very concerning situation. As a matter of fact, we think that the President needs to take a greater interest in this and ensure that he takes bold steps that are going to contribute to the stopping of this hemorrhaging of public resources, given that the Ministry of Finance is such a crucial ministry in Zambia. And so we call on the President to really take action and ensure that this matter is addressed decisively.
The Zambia Congress of Trade Unions, ZCTU President Blake Molala, has urged beneficiaries of the partial withdrawal of benefits under the National Pension Scheme Authority, NAPSA, to invest in various ventures that will increase their income generation streams to avoid vulnerability upon retirement. Reacting to the National Pension Scheme Amendment Bill No. 1 of 2023, which has been assented by President Hakainde Hichilema, Mr. Molala notes that this will go a long way in alleviating poverty among beneficiaries who are living on a tight budget against many needs. President Hakainde Hichilema Monday assented to the said law, which will see beneficiaries who have a minimum of 60 contributions, among other criteria, making a once-off 20% withdrawal of their benefits. More in this report.
The picture that comes when one talks about retirees in Zambia is not one of dignity, as these have over the years been seen storming government offices demanding for their pension benefits, with some having retired over 10 years without their dues. Pension reforms were therefore suggested by stakeholders in the labor sector to allow for a partial withdrawal of benefits for workers under the National Pension Scheme Authority (NAPSA). After a process that has taken many months and procedures and having successfully passed through Parliament, President Hakainde Hichilema has signed into law the NAPSA Amendment Act No. 1 of 2023, which will see a selected criteria, making a once-off withdrawal of 20%. This is a move that has elated Zambia Congress of Trade Unions President Blake Mulala, who was speaking to Camnet News.
It's not every worker who is going to access this partial withdrawal, but it's only members who have done, say, 60 contributions, and then, or they have reached the age of 45 years. These are the workers who are going to be able to get, say, 20% of their indexed monthly contributions and the accrued benefits. It will in some way help workers who have been depending just on their minimal incomes to meet the basic needs of life. And I think, again, it's removing the workers from the bottom line of poverty, because here is a situation now where you are allowed to have access to your money, which you have worked for. And our advice to them is, this is not money to start taking into beer halls. It's not money which is now going to be used into ventures which are not going to be profitable. We want to urge the workers who qualify to get the partial withdrawal of what they've worked for, to take advantage of this good law, and that Zambians can now come, they can form ventures where 2 or 3 people are coming to join together, and by doing so, I think the economy can grow, because they'll be creating some form of employment for others.
Meanwhile, National Union of Public and Private Educators of Zambia General Secretary Nelson Mwale has challenged other unions to spread the message across the country.
And I think the onus is up to us, the unions. We must go out there and sensitize the membership on the use of these resources. Well, at the end of the day, the resources are not put to waste. Remember, it's a 20% gain. So whatever it is, if the 20% is a 10,000, if a 20% is a 20,000, 15, I think unions like NUPES, we have plots which some of these members can be getting, and they're paying bit by bit.
The duo hope that the move will contribute positively to Zambia's aspiration under the United Nations of providing decent working opportunities for all by 2030. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The National Association for Medium and Small-Scale Contractors have bemoaned what it terms as continued disregard for the plight of the contractors in the Constituency Development Fund equation, which uses a pricing model which does not favor small-scale contractors. Addressing the media Monday, Association President Choma says government should arrange a team of independent experts to be responsible for coming up with fair pricing mechanisms to execute the Constituency Development Fund CDF projects. Mr. Siaka Choma has noted with concern that most projects are underpriced, resulting in contractors doing shoddy works. The association leader has since appealed to the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development to constitute a team of independent quantity surveyors, contractors, engineers and other stakeholders to devise an equitable pricing mechanism. Mr. Siaka Choma has further noted in the CDF Act No. 11 of 2018, 6 Cap A, the evaluation of the project shall be carried out by a committee which may include officers from an appropriate government department, and B, exercise shall be done on completion of the project, but before the disbursement of the following year's funds. He has cited areas such as Dundumwezi among other far-flung areas which are costly in terms of building materials sourcing, hence increasing the construction costs way beyond what may be proposed.
All contractors are prepared to spend out of budget to create a name for themselves. In an economy like ours, where business is highly unpredictable, very few, if at all, they exist. Contractors will run projects at a loss with a view to building a brand name and anticipate to make profits in future. Therefore, quality suffers when pricing is compromised. How can one justify the cost of a 1x3 classroom block to be 600,000 kwacha in Lukulu, Sinazongwe, Tundumwezi, Sioma, Kalawo, Sikongo, Kaputa, Chasefu, Kapompo, Chadiza, and many other places, when the same cost of transportation of materials is around 150,000. There are no cement, steel, or paint factories in these outlying areas. The roads are barely passable, and the transportation cost is therefore astronomical. Who should carry all these costs?
Government says millers that will be found conniving with traders to smuggle mealie meal across the borders risk being blacklisted from receiving maize from the Food Reserve Agency, FRA. Agriculture Minister Ruben Mtolo-Piri says some traders are holding Zambians to ransom as huge stocks of the commodity are being smuggled into some neighboring countries, which amounts to economic sabotage. He has disclosed that it is government's desire to ensure that mealie meal is affordable and sufficient in the country. Speaking during his tour of Eastern Province to check on the availability of maize in FRA depots, Mr. Piri says it is good that those who were accusing government of being unprofessional and selling off all the maize stock have a clear position that there is enough maize stock. Meanwhile, Rainbow Milling Plant Manager Ayubu Patel has attributed the high demand of mealie meal in the province to smugglers. Mr. Patel has also disclosed that Zambians are being unpatriotic, as a majority are the ones causing the issues of shortages of mealie meal in the country because of individual selfishness. Mr. Patel says Chipata has not been spared of issues of smuggling, as some women vendors have now turned into mealie meal smugglers.
If we find any miller, including Kwachambiri, where we are standing now, if we find any miller colluding with traders, either themselves directly or through traders, taking mealie meal across our borders, we are going to shut the supply of our maize, government maize, to that particular miller. Remember what we were saying yesterday? Our interest is the heavily subsidized maize at production, heavily subsidized maize at storage, which we are giving them. We are giving them maize at 200 kwacha. Tell me, Mr. Miller, where in Africa can you find maize at 200 kwacha a bag, 4,000 kwacha a ton? Where? Grade 1 maize, that quality of maize we give. There's nowhere you are going, not only in Zambia, Africa. You are not going to get it.
Restrict the movement of mealie meal from Lusaka to Eastern Province, because that's where the smuggling comes in. Very soon we'll start having problems in Lusaka. These trucks, there is no way Eastern Province suddenly can be consuming such volumes of mealie meal. There's something fishy going on here. And those trucks must be impounded, taken back to Lusaka. Rainbow milling, if we give them enough maize as FRA, together with Kwacha milling, they can cope with the demand here. How come? You said something very pertinent. Eastern Province suddenly is consuming 80 tons of mealie meal every day, suddenly.
Demand is still high. Basically, it is all cross-border. Chipata has become amazing, you know, that even a woman vendor has become a mealie meal dealer. She would buy mealie meal at 175, 190 kwacha and sell it outside the premises at 210 kwacha. I think it is us Zambians who are causing this issue more. Yeah. We are being unpatriotic. Exactly. Just because somebody wants to make quick money without toiling and laboring. Yeah.
The Agricultural, Technical and Professional Staff Union of Zambia, ABDUCTORS, has advised the government to ensure the timely recruitment of agricultural extension officers in accordance with the national budget. In an interview with Camnet News, ABDUCTORS General Secretary Geston Ponde says the failure by government to recruit agricultural extension officers in 2022 is adding more pressure to serving extension officers who are working under pressure. Mr. Ponde has since challenged government to ensure that it recruits the agricultural officers before the rainy season in accordance with the national budget and has tasked the authority to engage unions in the formulation of the 2023 implementation manual.
Regarding the delay in the recruitment of extension officers in the Ministry of Agriculture, government should have done that already in the last year's budget, which is 2022, and I'm sure for government to give Treasury Authority to recruit, it means money is already in place. So it's not a good move that the ministry is delaying to recruit our officers, because already we have a very, very big shortfall in terms of extension officers in the country. So the quicker they do it, the better for the ministry, because we need to perform as a ministry, we need to be food secure, and we need to produce more in terms of crop production, in terms of livestock production.
Nkeyema constituency member of parliament Kapelo Ambangweta says the constituency has challenged itself to provide over 600 desks to schools within the constituency in order to reach the target it has set for itself to provide 8,200 desks for all schools in the area by December 2023. Speaking during a handover of 300 desks to Kalale and Shimano secondary schools in the constituency Monday morning, the Member of Parliament says the challenge is in response to the call by President Hakainde Hichilema that no pupil should sit on the floor while learning. Mr. Mbangweta, who is also Western Province Minister, states that he is therefore determined for this to be actualized using the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, as well as through working with partners. The desks, which will be split into 150 between the two schools, were sourced through the Zambia Education Projects Implementation Unit, ZEPU, in partnership with the Ministry of Education. More in this report.
The call by the United Party for National Development, UPND administration, that no pupil should sit on the floor has been loud and clear, with constituencies across the country being challenged to ensure that all schools have desks using the Constituency Development Fund, CDF. Nkeyema constituency member of parliament in Western Province Kapelo Ambangweta says apart from using CDF, the constituency is working with partners like the Zambia Education Projects Implementation Unit to cushion the deficit of desks, as the need in some schools is huge. The lawmaker, who is also serving as Western Province Minister, made the statement Monday morning when receiving 300 desks from the said unit to go towards Kalale and Shimano secondary schools in Nkeyema constituency. He asked that the constituency is targeting to provide a total of over 8,000 desks by December 2023.
Our target initially was 8,200 desks. We've delivered the 1,900 so far, but in other words, we have got to 2,000. So we need between now and the second week of December to deliver the balance of the desks, which is a tall order, but of course we have to work very hard. At the moment, we have in excess of 1,000 desks already ordered, still in process by the local people around. And so it means, strictly speaking, every month now we need to be delivering around slightly over 600 desks.
Other stakeholders who are present at the occasion, among them Nkeyema District Education Board Secretary, also aired their voice on the development.
So we are proudly saying our new government has provided to this school 230 new desks. Our children were in great trouble. They were sitting on the floor. but with the incoming of 230 desks, the situation has improved. Now, at least, we are having children having a taste of a desk during lessons.
Although we still have a shortfall of 6,400, we are confident that the new Dawn government will deliver. It is clear that the new Dawn government prioritizes education and challenges us all to leave no child behind.
We are aware that it may not be enough from what the James has said about 6,000 deficit, so we shall hammer 2,000 out. We shall remain with the 4,000, which we shall continue working on.
Zwelo pili itaha mama wezi amangata kuya kwangu kupa kwama organization kamba kwama likanivale baba kona kurutusa mika chenufa luyeza handover luyeza witness 300 days.
Pupils of Kalale Secondary School took the opportunity to highlight challenges at the school.
The school is faced with a number of challenges. Key among them are lack of science laboratory, computer and secondary school combined, inadequate classrooms infrastructure and teachers' houses. We therefore put our hope in the new Dawn government to address these challenges.
It is hoped that the provision of school desks will increase learner attendance and participation in education activities. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News.
Former Islamic Supreme Council of Zambia President Sujo Zimba has charged that it is wrong for the governing United Party for National Development to be fixing people as opposed to fixing the economy. Mr. Zimba tells Camnet News that the high cost of living is choking the majority of poor Zambians, thus contradicting President Hakainde Hichilema's campaign pledge to ensure that people eat 3 square meals per day. He says it is unacceptable to have the shortage of staple food and subject citizens to buying mealie meal at exorbitant prices. Mr. Zimba is disappointed that the government failed to effectively plan before embarking on the exportation of maize and mealie meal to neighboring countries.
Look, end of the day, we've been told that things will be fixed. So I think these are the challenges that are facing the current president, and he should fix them, because that was his main campaign promise, that he will fix. So if people are the ones that are being fixed, then it is wrong. We want him to fix. These are small things. Minimum is a small thing. You know, we should not export. I think when we should be planning, we should be ahead. You know, we should be thinking of 2 years. But you know, we were exporting, suddenly we have challenges. So it means that there was poor planning on the side of the government. I think what I would advise this current government is talking too much is not helping them. Let them act. Let them people see their works, because you talking like you're still in the opposition, it's not good for the country.
The Opposition Advocates for People's Prosperity, APP, has urged government to consider introducing an unemployment fund away from the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, to cater for the unemployed population in Zambia, who are mostly college and university graduates. Speaking to Camnet News, Party President Mwenya Musenge says this fund will help many youths who are struggling to get on their feet, adding that some may even start small ventures of their own. The opposition leader states that it is fictitious to think that all youths in the country will benefit from CDF, hence the need to come up with alternative solutions against idleness and high unemployment rates among the youths. He has challenged the United Party for National Development, UPND administration, to focus on delivering to the young people who voted for them in numbers.
For us as APP, we feel that government can look at how they can come up with a package of helping those who have completed school, those who have completed college, but unfortunately cannot be taken on. That can be done. The issue of, this idea of coming up with cooperatives has been tried before. They've also tried it. and we can see that it is not sustainable. It is not sustainable. They made a lot of noise about these cooperatives, and they made people run all over to make these cooperatives. But where are they today? We need to ask ourselves, how are we going to help the youths, those who rose in big numbers? Because there was that promise that once they come into government, they will be able to help them. But now we have closed the door in their faces, and they are languishing the streets, and most of them are dying out of anger, you know. So government needs to look at that.
This is Camnet Television Main News. We'll take our first break. Join us for more news after the break.
Monday, 17th April 2023, on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chiluba with his guest, Honorable Chipoka Mlenga, Minister of Commerce and Trade.
That His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zambia has given strict directives that myself, Ministry of Agriculture, and other colleagues through the civil service and government wings will work together to not only find the solution to the problem, but make sure that mealie meal is not only available, but the price is also affordable.
As they discuss, where are we as a nation? On DSTV channel 274, COTV channel 98, and Topstar channel 106.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp, and text messages. Make a date with us. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
In our quest to save nations and develop Africa, Savenda is investing in the agriculture sector so as to produce supply for both local and international markets, housing over 12,000 pullets that are nurtured and fed with our locally made stock feed that comes from our own locally grown maize and soya beans, all processed from our recently installed milling and mixing plant. Our over 95,000 layers have an output capacity of over 1,500 trays of fresh eggs per day that are carefully selected and packaged for all the leading stores and supermarkets nationwide. Our greenhouses are fitted with the latest irrigation system, and the seedlings are nurtured to ensure only healthy plants reach the fields. With our deliberate planting schedule, we are better placed to supply constantly without interruption, thus reliable. Savenda Farms is also changing lives of its dedicated workforce drawn from the local community and beyond. So the next time you think fresh and green, think Savenda Farms.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes, and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
Monday, 17th April 2023, on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chiluba with his guest, Honorable Chipoka Mlenga, Minister of Commerce and Trade.
That His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zambia has given strict directives that myself, Ministry of Agriculture, and other colleagues through the civil service and government wings will work together to not only find the solution to the problem, but make sure that mealie meal is not only available, but the price is also affordable.
As they discuss, where are we as a nation? On DSTV channel 274, COTV channel 98, and Topstar channel 106.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp, and text messages. Make a date with us. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. We'll continue with the news. Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development has warned that government will not hesitate to pull down illegal infrastructure being built on public land reserves. Ministry Permanent Secretary Mambo Hamaundu says the law prohibits the constructing of permanent structures on road reserves and that all those doing so risk losing their investments. The Permanent Secretary has since appealed to all citizens to ensure that they abide by the law and not frustrate the efforts of government and the local authority who are trying to bring sanity in the country. Meanwhile, CAMP's executive car wash owner Davis Chikumo says it is unfair for Mr. Hamaundu to direct that part of the infrastructure that was being built at his car wash on the land reserve be demolished. More in this report.
This is land meant for the road reserves in Lusaka's Chilenje area along Bama Road, which had seen the previous administration accommodate some residents who wish to do business on conditionalities that they do not put up permanent structures. However, the area has seen development where some permanent structures are being erected, a development which does not seem to settle well with the local authority. Monday, the local authority swung into action and demolished some structures at CAB's executive car wash, a development that does not seem to settle well with the owner, who has accused the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, Mambo Hamaundu, of targeting his business.
Here for the past 5 years, and this is all these workers that are feed from, and I've got these boys that are not empowered by anybody, and we do not get this money from the government or from any empowerment or CDF. This money was raised from everywhere, and I got loans from everywhere to build up what I'm building. And then the PS this morning instructed the council. Today is the 17th. The council came in the morning around 9 hours and started demolishing everything without any notice, without giving me any notification of whatever I've done wrong, because there's clearly nothing that I've done wrong. I simply did a offense. But pano penyo potungira family yesu na ifwe opotulira pano penyo potuikana natuomba po for 5 years na besa fie batoboku bachukumbi kuneba bashata pali ofo batobere ine mwamufunsa mwamuonesa nakuti apa pali wrong wachitaso amvera chitandastandi osati kupeza kuti mwabapwanya mwinangu bapwanya mwinangu basia.
But Mr. Hamaundu, when contacted, says government does not delight in demolishing infrastructure, but says where the law has been broken, government will not hesitate but swing into action. He says the land in question is meant for the road reserves and that the owner abrogated the law when he decided to start putting up permanent infrastructure where he is not supposed to.
The agreements that most of these amenities or public facilities or facilities where people are running car washes and things like that, the agreements stipulate to say you will not put permanent structures. And the reasoning is very simple. It is because there is realization to say those are public amenities. Government wants to save your money by you not putting up permanent infrastructure. So to complain or to go to the media when your structure is brought down, simply shows that you're just trying to perpetuate an argument which is not necessary.
He has since advised the Zambian citizens to ensure that they do the right thing so that other people are not affected by their decisions.
Everyone within Lusaka, everyone within the country, take judicial notice to say, whenever you want to put up infrastructure, clear it with the local authority. The issue of saying such and such a person, if there's no written documentation, you might end up being unnecessarily inconvenienced.
Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Chirawombwe Member of Parliament Paul Kabuswe says the United Party for National Development UPND is breaking its bonds to serve the Zambian people. Speaking when he commissioned a 1x3 classroom block at Kamenza Secondary School in Chirawombwe using the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, Mr. Kabuswe says the Zambian people should not be deceived by those who failed to deliver development. He says the Constituency Development Fund, CDF projects might not be seen by the Zambian people because the projects are still being implemented. The lawmaker says government is committed to ensure that all the challenges that have come with the introduction of free education are tackled in any way possible.
I have seen the best of Chilabombwe and the West. The past 10 years we are in the west of Chilabombwe. Me have been here. I'm now not talking as a minister or MP. I'm just talking as myself. I didn't even know what was happening to our district. As I'm telling you now, apart from the Chingola Kasumbalesa road, the same contractor, this is confirmed information I'm giving you, they will just the signing will be done. We'll do also the township roads. So we are moving slowly but surely. This is a methodical government. Nobody next year, I'll be telling you the direction on KCM. And the deal that we are signing, believe you me, is going to see a lot of benefits to our people. So these things that we are doing, sometimes we are seeming to be quiet. It's because we don't talk too much, we want to wait.
The Lusaka High Court has heard that one of the men accused of abducting and raping 13 women in Lusaka last year is not fit to stand trial due to his current condition. Dr. Patrick Musoni, a psychiatrist from Chanaima Hospital, has submitted a report to the court that indicates that James Walia has an antisocial personality disorder. The medical report has further revealed that the accused's spine is dislocated as it has a deformity at the thoracis lumbar spine. However, according to Dr. Musoni's report, Walia does not have a mental illness. This is in a matter in which James Walia and Matthew Sikaunga are facing 54 different charges, among them rape, assault, and aggravated robbery. In the last court session, the Defense Counsel made an application for the first accused person, Walia, to undergo a medical examination before he could proceed into trial, and the court granted the application. Meanwhile, the report has indicated that Matthew Sikaunga is fit to stand trial. Further submission before court are that the accused Walia injured himself when he tried to jump over a fence on the 12th of March 2023. The two accused persons are alleged to have kidnapped 13 women, among them a mobile booth agent, and subjected the victims to over 6 months of abuse before they were saved by the Zambia police. This is Camnet Television Main News. Join us for more in international and sports news after the break.
Monday, 17th April 2023, on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chiluba with his guest, Honorable Chipoka Mlenga, Minister of Commerce and Trade.
That His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zambia has given strict directives that myself, Ministry of Agriculture, and other colleagues through the civil service and government wings will work together to not only find the solution to the problem, but make sure that mealie meal is not only available, but the price is also affordable.
As they discuss, where are we as a nation? On DSTV channel 274, GoTV channel 98, and Topstar channel 106.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp, and text messages. Make a date with us. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Water is life. Each drop counts, and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Renglow, your smart irrigation partner.
Monday, 17th April 2023, on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chiluba with his guest, Honorable Chipoka Mlenga, Minister of Commerce and Trade.
That His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zambia has given strict directives that myself, Ministry of Agriculture, and other colleagues through the civil service and government wings will work together to not only find the solution to the problem, but make sure that mealie meal is not only available, but the price is also affordable.
As they discuss, where are we as a nation? On DSTV channel 274, COTV channel 98, and Topstar channel 106.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp, and text messages. Make a date with us. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
And now in international news, the transitional authorities in Burkina Faso on Thursday declared a general mobilization to give the state all the necessary means to deal with the jihadist attacks. In an interview organized by the local media, the Director of Military Justice, Francois Ramiego, commented on the recent announcement of the general mobilization. The Director of Military Justice sees the general mobilization as a setting in motion of all the defense measures that have already been prepared. Authorities also issued an advisory that gives the President the right to requisition people, goods and services, and the right to restrain certain civil liberties, according to another security source. The government had already announced in February a plan to recruit 5,000 additional soldiers to battle the deadly insurgency that has gripped one of the world's poorest countries since 2015. For more in international news, we have a roundup.
The transitional authorities in Burkina Faso last Thursday declared a general mobilization to give the state all the necessary means to deal with the jihadist attacks. In an interview, the Director of Military Justice commented on the recent announcement of general mobilization.
C'est un cadre constitutionnel qui donne plus de pouvoir.
It is a constitutional framework that gives more power, more authority to the government to create, organize and direct the means to face the danger, in this case for us, the terrorist danger. The Director sees the general mobilization as the setting in motion of all the defense measures that have already been prepared. The impact on the individual freedom, it must be said that the International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights, of which Burkina Faso is a member, and which we have ratified, provides that in the event of exceptional danger of a threat to the existence of a nation, the state may take measures required by the situation. So the leaders of this state can take measures required by the situation, and of course there is a difference what can and cannot be done. Burkina Faso, the scene of 2 military coups in 2022, has been caught since 2015 in a spiral of jihadist violence. Last week, 44 civilians were killed in an attack on 2 villages in the northeast of the country.
An overcrowded boat approached by rescuers in the central Mediterranean Sea. Italian charity emergency vessel Life Support rescued migrants from Côte d'Ivoire, Egypt, Eritrea, Nigeria, Palestine, Sudan and Somalia during the weekend. Among the rescued were women, children and 3 unaccompanied minors. The charity expected 3 days of sailing to reach the assigned location of disembarkation in northern Italy. The head of Mission of Emergency Life Support detailed that the rubber boat drifted away from the Libyan coast and that 55 passengers left from 12 hours, but the outboard engine had been out of service for hours. The International Organization for Migration documented 441 migrant deaths along the central Mediterranean Sea since the beginning of the year, the deadliest first quarter in 6 years. Sudan's embattled capital woke Monday to the 3rd day of heavy fighting between the army and a powerful rival force known as the Rapid Support Force, RSF. The fight for the control of power has led to the death of many and left thousands panicked.
I was asleep. Suddenly, I heard a lot of big sounds. I can't leave the house. Very dangerous outside.
The fighting results from a power struggle between General Al-Burhan, who heads the army, and the RSF's leader, General Hamdan Daglo. Allies turned enemies claim the control of key sites.
You've got 2 highly armed forces who want to seize power. They both paid lip service to the idea that they would respond to the Sudanese revolution by transferring power to civilians, but that has always proved elusive. So I suspect we're going to see more fighting until both sides come to the conclusion that they can't win militarily.
Since Saturday, airstrikes and shelling have intensified in parts of Khartoum and of Omdurman. The Arab League and the African Union called for the end of hostilities. So did the US.
We've also been in close touch with partners in the Arab world, in Africa, in international organizations. There is a shared deep concern about the fighting, the violence that's going on in Sudan, the threat that poses to civilians, that it poses to the Sudanese nation, and potentially poses even to the region. There's also a very strongly shared view about the need for Generals Burhan and Hamedi to ensure the protection of civilians and non-combatants, as well as people from third countries.
Despite a humanitarian pause announced on Sunday afternoon, heavy gunfire was heard in central Khartoum. The World Health Organization warned that several hospitals in the capital receiving injured civilians had run out of vital supplies.
We now have some sports news. Now, sports news tonight, a 3-member team with intellectual disabilities in Western Province who are scheduled to take part in the Special Olympics World Games slated for Germany this year have intensified training. Western Province intellectual coach Edwin Wasamono told Zanis in an interview that the team comprising 2 boys and a girl are training tirelessly so that they can mint gold at the prestigious championship that will run from June 17 to 26. He said the trio will be battling it out in 100 meters track events as well as in a newly introduced sport called Boss. Wasamono said having the 3 taking part in the Special Olympic Games is a great honor for the people of Western Province because it is the first time that people with intellectual disabilities are being paraded at the World Championship. He advised parents with children who have special needs not to confine them at home but bring them forward because they have potential in one way or the other. The Special Olympics World Games is the world's largest inclusive sports event that attracts thousands of athletes with intellectual disabilities to compete in 26 sports disciplines. To end Camnet Television main news, the headlines once again. One of the abductors of 13 women in Lusaka unfit to stand trial. Government threatens to blacklist millers who are conniving with smugglers. Small-scale contractors bemoan government's disregard on CDF contracts. In international news, Burkina Faso explains the reason behind the call for general mobilization. And in sports news, intellectual disability team gears up for Germany Olympics. Our Camnet verse of the day is coming from Philippians 4 verse 4 to 5. Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice. Let your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near. Thank you again for watching Camnet Television News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Bye-bye.